Cameras in the classroom. How do you ladies feel about that?
Would you ever switch over to Livestream?
So there's been times where we've reviewed the cameras to find out that a story wasn't told completely right.
But I'm trusting whatever they're telling me is what's really taking place.
Every big discovery starts with a closer look. This is Magnify Childcare, presented by Academic Explorers. Guided by our promise to put the child first, we are zooming in on what makes these early years so important. Sharing the stories that shape us, focusing on what matters most. Let's start exploring.
Welcome to Magnify Childcare, a podcast for parents and providers. We are your hosts, Gaelle, Rochelle, and Danielle.
Hi.
Hey, ladies.
Hey.
So, recently I was just thinking with my former role as parent coordinator and just as a parent myself, one of the things that definitely attract parents is cameras in the classroom. How do you ladies feel about that?
Yeah, I think that they're definitely necessary to protect all parties involved. I think cameras in the classroom are great. And I know you used to get a lot of questions about that, right, from interested parents?
Yes, that's definitely one of, I would say, top 3 questions I would get. And then, of course, the second one is a live feed? But it's definitely something that attracts parents.
It is.
Is that something you feel you would, continue with providing for parents?
Absolutely. I do agree that cameras are important. I would definitely continue to have that accessible for us. We have cameras at 3 of our centers right now, and we've operated this way for 9 years now, and I don't see any reason why we would take them away. Mm-hmm. They've definitely protected us in so many ways and also give a sense of security for the families that use us.
Well, for you, I know we don't have live stream, so with the parents, they only allow, if we allow them to come see the cameras, they're allowed to see it. Would you ever switch over to live stream?
That is something that I've been thinking about for the past year or two. If I'm not mistaken, when you were answering the phones before as parent coordinator for new interested parents, weren't most of them asking about cameras specifically for the live stream?
Yes. Is there something they could immediately just have access to and basically tap in the moment?
Yeah. So for that reason, we've been considering it. I've noticed that there's a lot of other centers do offer live stream. It's just not something that we have right now. And I'm for it. I do want to do it, but there's a little bit of hesitancy for so many different reasons.
From a parent perspective, I know technology is advancing, but for you, was that a factor for you, or was it more of, yay, they have that?
It was a mixture. So when I was enrolling my kids, because the previous daycare I used to work at, there was cameras, but we weren't, the parents were not allowed to see it. If there was an incident, we weren't even allowed to go into the office to look at the cameras. So cameras were never a big deal for me. But as in my role and seeing things, I am that mom, I would like to know what's going on. I would like to know what's going on. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it as a parent and then as somebody that works in the field. That's 50-50 about the whole live stream.
Gotcha.
What are your feelings? What is 50-50 from the parent's perspective? We could start there with the parent's POV.
My biggest thing is I'm building trust with the teachers. So I feel like if I have a good relationship with the teachers, if they tell me that little Johnny fell and hit his toe, I'm going to take their word. Little Johnny fell and hit his toe. I'm not going to look too much into it. If I have built that relationship with the teachers, with the admin team there, I'm going to take their word for what they're saying. And especially as the kids got older, they're vocal, so they're able to talk, they're able to tell me what really happened. And if their story's matching what the teacher's telling me, then I really don't have too much of an issue to look into the cameras. But as an admin, it's really about protecting your team and protecting your staff, because you might have those parents that when you tell them, oh, little Johnny fell and hit his toe, I don't believe you. Let me see the cameras. That doesn't sound right. And then this is our documentation to show them, look, little Johnny did hit his toe. Because these kids go home and they'll tell one story, and that story may not match with the other story.
Right. And that's what I was talking about with protection for all parties involved. Yes, for the parents, they get the comfort of knowing that there's a camera there so that the teachers know that there's a camera there so that they, if there was any thoughts of doing anything wrong or making the wrong choice in during operations, like at least they know somebody is watching, right? So it's a protection for the kids and for the parents' peace of mind. But also the other way around for the teachers, there's been times where we're talking about toddlers, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, they have imaginations. They might go home saying one thing when a completely different thing has happened. So there's been times where we've reviewed the cameras to find out that a story wasn't told completely right, and that protects the teacher in that moment. And then just building security in general, even if nobody was there, like it's great to have cameras to protect the actual building. But yeah, I
just don't think live, as a parent, I don't think I need live stream.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be that mom that I'm at my desk and I'm looking at my phone to see what he's doing and I shouldn't be. So I feel like I don't need live stream. Having the cameras just in the building in general, as like a safety precaution, okay. But I don't need access all day.
Yeah, I was talking to our accountant a couple days ago, which is a random side note. It has nothing to do with accounting. But we were having this. I asked her opinion, actually, if she has other programs that do have live stream. And she was explaining that herself as a parent, in her youngest child program, they do have live stream. And she finds herself literally never looking at it. And she said that he's 3 or 4, I believe. So he can come home and tell her if there was ever anything wrong. But she understands the appeal of like, if he was an infant, and they can't speak, being able to access the cameras at that point from a live stream would be ideal for her if she was in that situation where she needed care for her infant. But, and I do feel like that might be something that if we were to do it, I would definitely start in our baby rooms, because we often get a lot of first-time moms who are,
nervous.
Yeah, very nervous. Nervous is the word. Very nervous, rightfully so. We hear all the horror stories that happen in the news, and even outside of that, just like wanting to know what's going on with your baby. I definitely understand. So maybe the baby room might be a good place to do it if we were to.
With cameras being in the classroom, do you think that that causes or might put like a strain between teachers and administrators, like on a sense of teachers, why do we need cameras? Do they not trust us? Or it's on the camera, they're watching us all the time, like, do you feel like, between teachers and administrators, like having a camera is a positive thing or something to boost up morale or boost up a relationship between administrators and teachers?
That's a good question. And that is like one of my concerns, what I said before about there's hesitancy to just go to live stream. For so many reasons, and that being one of them, because we've been open for 9 years, and with our first location especially, and with our second location, it's 6 years now. Most of a lot of the teachers that are with us have been with us for all these years, and they have not had the responsibility of answering to parents calling in asking specific in the moment questions.
That can happen.
Yeah. If a child loses their sock if a parent sees it on the camera that a child's sock fell off before the teacher notices, and then they're calling to complain because they see their child running around without a sock, like little things like that. Little things is what I'm concerned about. I know that we have a great team of teachers, and I'm not concerned with like egregious acts, but just little things that could feel overbearing is what I don't want to create a walking on eggshells type of environment.
Well, the teacher might feel micromanaged.
Yes, the teachers being I don't want to create that type of environment. And I don't want families to feel like they can't trust. Like, I do think that trust is whether there's cameras or not. Trust is the first part of what you should be finding when you're leaving your child somewhere. Like, you should feel comfortable with who you're leaving.
Away from home.
Yes. You should feel comfortable with who you're leaving your child with, whether cameras exist in the program or not. And I do worry that if we were to make this step towards live stream, and if it's not handled with care by by admin, by parents, by teachers, that it could rub somebody of those three the wrong way.
And that's why I said when you ask about as a parent and enrolling my kid, when you ask about like enrolling my kid, it's the same like going back on my family. When my kids are with my mom, when my kids are with their uncle or their aunt, there's no cameras. Mm-hmm. I have trust in my mom. I have trust in my brother and my cousins. So when they're with them, if an incident, because kids are kids,
right?
Papa's is going to hit his head. It's possible. But I'm trusting whatever they're telling me is what's really taking place. Like you said, trust is built a lot. And I feel like when it comes to the cameras, if you have that trust, we don't really need the live stream.
There's 3 different tiers of cameras, right? Mm-hmm. There's 4 different situations that programs will typically have. Either they have no cameras at all, or they have monitors where there's like just a screen in the director's office and there's cameras set up in the classroom, but they do not record or save anything. It's just to see what's happening in real time. If you're not standing there, you won't see. And then the third option is to have cameras that record like we do. Mm-hmm. And then the fourth is live stream. So if I'm not mistaken, most programs currently actually, I don't even feel comfortable saying most. I think there's a decent mix of all types. I've definitely come across programs nowadays where they don't have any cameras at all, and that just is what it is. I've worked in the past for a program that just had it monitoring screens that don't record, and then I do think it's popular to have at least cameras that do record. That makes the most sense if you're going to have them. But live stream, I feel like, is growing more and more popular now.
I know I'm asking you guys questions, but for me, overall, I think there's different layers to it. You have the layer of, as a business owner, you have to think of liability. You have to think of protecting yourself and protecting your staff. That comes in many forms of documentation, including recording. Then there's the layer of education-wise. You want to some centers review their cameras for training purposes. So, hey, this morning, you know, this is what you did. This is how we could do it better. You know, so then there's that aspect of it. And then there's the aspect of trusting parents. If you have nothing to hide, you trusted us with enrolling your child. Sure, come in. Let's take a look at the camera. Let's see what the problem is. And let's try to find a solution with still maintaining the safety and the privacy of the other children. And then that alone would possibly open the door to maybe not even need the camera down the road if something happens, because, you know, we're opening and welcoming of that, showing the camera. So I think there's multiple levels to it. And then in general, to sum it all up, technology is taking over the world. We have parents who are...
I'm setting the ear tag.
Right. You have parents who... It's not even email it to me. Oh, send it to me in a text. And we're not even paperwork or whatever. It's literally digital. So we have to meet that expectation if we want to stay with what's growing along. So it's just many layers to it. And if you're gonna use it as a provider, just understand the layers to it and use it as you see fit for your company.
Right. You mentioned privacy. That's something else that is a hesitancy for me. So the bird's eye view thing of teachers feeling monitored is one thing. What was my second thing of concern?
It was the bird eye view, and then the micromanage of parents calling in every moment
yes.
when there's something going on.
But now also privacy is a concern because, like, for example, when we do have incidents that happen, right, and we have to write incident reports, our state licensing agency makes it clear on the incident report not to release the names of other children involved in an incident. This is something that happens occasionally where 2 children are in a little tussle. Yeah. It could be 2 toddlers fighting over a toy or something, and one of them could get hurt, right? Yeah. And if that happens, and we have to write out an incident report and give it to the parent of the child who got hurt, we can't say child A, like we can't say little Johnny Smith said blah, 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 and then bumped Peter on the head. Like, we can't say the names. So if we have live stream camera and a parent turns on the camera at the time where 2 kids are battling between a toy and they see exactly what happens themselves. Is that the same? Is that not the same thing?
It is, because literally a parent could be like, during pickup,
yeah, this one, like,
and they see their mom outside, like, your kid took my kid's truck during circle time.
Mm-hmm.
I seen it myself.
Mm-hmm. Or, excuse me, did they tell you that your kid hit my kid?
You need to go home and talk to your kid.
Right.
So, but it really is a difference.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's definitely a question for licensing. Like, if we do move forward with live streaming, will we still be in compliance? I don't know if it's something that, like, because I guess the argument could be made that if a parent was to come volunteer or during pickup or drop off and they witnessed the incident themselves, like, it happened in the moment.
Slim, though. Most of the incident happens in the classroom. I do feel like licensing, they definitely try to give up a rebuttal for it to make sense a little bit, but
yeah, I feel like sometimes it can feel like it's playing both sides,
right,
whatever
right.
is in their favor. So I don't know. That's definitely a question, for sure.
So with that being said, with the parents' safety, like, what about screen recording? I know for some apps and live streaming, I know you can't screen record, but I could take somebody else's phone and record it, or better yet, you let them see the camera from an incident, and the parent's not happy with the outcome, even though you provided the information, you showing them, they're like, well, I'm still not happy. What are you going to do about it? But, they're still not satisfied, even with the camera being so they're just like, I feel like it's just still figuring out the best way to handle each and every situation with and without the camera.
Yeah. And I think it just all comes back to trust, like, regardless of any of that.
No cameras.
Right.
What's that song by Monica?
Yeah.
And I trust. I don't know.
Okay,
never remember.
Wait, what is it?
And I trust you.
And
I love you. And I want you. And I need you, baby. I'm breathing you. Never leaving you. Life wouldn't be the same without you.
Well, you find your age.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I don't think I know that song. Is that the chorus?
Yes. But back to trust.
But no, yeah, immediately trust. And there are trust in us with our most prized possession. So we understand a lot that comes with that. But initially, we both, provider and parent, got to take a leap of faith of trusting. Trust starts with the first step.
Yeah, and communication.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if parents know that you're going to communicate, some parents want to know every single little thing, right? You both have been directors in the center before, so some parents care about every single thing.
And some parents say, don't call me unless you're on the way to the hospital. If you're not on the way to the hospital, don't call me.
It goes back to know your parents.
Yes.
And it's going to sound a little, some may not agree with that, but cater, if if it's just one specific parent, the whole building out of 50, I'm okay. I'm going to make sure my one parent is okay, if that's going to give me peace of mind for the rest of the school year.
Yeah.
So, if you want to call every second, from a provider point of view, I'm calling, he blew his nose and then he accidentally scratched himself. 20 minutes later, he was walking and he just fell.
Right.
He said his eyeball hurt. I'm letting you know his eyeball hurt.
Yeah. And that's okay, because then at some point the parent might be like, all right, enough.
Yeah. I see that you're communicating.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's good to see that, because that is the end goal, to just trust, even if it takes time getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay.
Yeah. So it looks like it's time for the AEA Plus.
Yes.
Our AEA Plus is a spotlight that we shine on either one of our team members, a whole center, one of our committees, like anybody involved in AE who's been doing well since throughout the last couple of weeks, or something notable that they did. So if you notice on our logo, we have a little A+ in our magnifying glass, so that's where that comes from. AEA Plus for this episode goes to our music and movement teacher, Miss Sabrina. Miss Sabrina joined our team, I want to say about 6 months ago, as our music and movement teacher, helping us to honestly build a music and movement program from scratch. We have not had one before, and we're happy and excited to have one now, and she's been doing so well. And maybe you will see Miss Sabrina in a future episode.
Maybe. Tune in.
Yes. Well, all right, ladies. Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure being here.
I forgot to say to follow us on.
Oh, yes. Why don't you say it?
You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Magnify Childcare. Subscribe to your YouTube channel, which is linked in the show notes.
And don't forget to turn your notifications on YouTube so that you can be notified every single time we post a new episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.
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 On the next episode,
We wanted to invite some families to join us for episodes.
Hands down to you guys during COVID. It was so amazing. I used to tell everybody that
That's right. It was me. I dropped it off to you. Yes, I did. The package.
The first day that I brought my daughter to the daycare, she walked in